So what exactly is next for the Nintendo Switch 2? Now that's an interesting question because the only things we know of this year as of right now for Nintendo Switch 2 games would be basically updates for the most part and a couple Switch 1 games, but there's no new Switch 2 exclusive games coming out yet this year that we know of because last year gave us a lot in that 6-month time frame, a few of which were Switch 2 exclusives, 4 of which were Switch 2 exclusives, 2 of which were on Switch 2 but also Switch 1 titles, but they were very big titles. So this year as of right now, we only got updates for Animal Crossing New Horizons, and we have a Super Mario Bros. Wonder update coming for Nintendo Switch 2 editions, but we don't really have any brand new Nintendo Switch 2 games announced yet for 2026. Now, I'm wondering when they're going to announce new games and what they're going to announce, because usually they do a Nintendo Direct in February, and I think they're definitely going to, because we really don't know anything about what Nintendo's going to do this year in 2026 as of yet. So first off, I want to talk about one little thing, and that is Pokemon, of course. Now, Pokemon, supposedly we are getting Generation 10 this year for the 30th anniversary. We will be getting what is rumored as the titles Pokemon Wind and Waves. Now, I think those are pretty good title names, and I'm really interested in why those are going to be called Wind and Waves, if that's the case. And I hope that the starters look cool. I hope the designs of the new Pokemon are cool. I hope they do stick to the open world format that Generation 9 had. But I hope for a lot less bugs. I hope for better graphics, of course. I hope these are Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive as well, as it would help bring up sales for the consoles. And maybe the games still would sell well. I'm sure they would because of the fact that it's Pokemon and it's a new generation of Pokemon. I am just hoping for better visuals, less bugs, more care and time and effort put into them, and that these will be the best Pokemon games we've had in a while. Now, I have a love for Legends Arceus, like a very specific kind of love for that game because it was such a fresh new take on Pokemon, and it did a lot of things for me that I really, really liked. ZA didn't do it quite as much for me personally. It did for some other people though, and that's cool. But Arceus, I like the world aspect of, yeah, it wasn't open world, but the different zones and the Pokemon where you had one that could fly you everywhere, you had one that could climb you everywhere while you were in the backpack. Different aspects of Arceus that I really enjoyed, and the boss fights were also really, really fun. And I did like some aspects about that game. Now, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee as well, those had a cool art style to them. I did really like the art style to those games, but other than like the art style, they were just remakes to promote Pokemon Go. And I think that I just hope that the Switch 2 era of Pokemon is a step in the right direction, because they've had some good steps in the right direction in some ways, but it's been a really up and down swerve for Pokemon throughout the Nintendo Switch era. And I just want to see Pokemon make a really good comeback without so much backlash, because I'll admit the backlash has been deserved, because graphically in 2026, by now, we should have some pretty nice visual Pokemon games, such as new Pokemon Snap. But I can't say my expectations are very high, but I'm just really hoping that Pokemon Generation 10 looks really nice. In either way, they'll be fun. But I just hope that the Pokemon Company has really put a little more effort into these next games. Now, call me crazy here, but 2026 is the 40th anniversary of The Legend of Zelda. So there's a couple things that I want to see. The first thing is an obvious one at some point this year, just a teaser for The Legend of Zelda movie. Now, we don't know hardly anything about this movie yet. We've seen some screenshots and we've seen the actors, but I just want to see a teaser. That was just something quick that I wanted to add. Another thing that I would like to see is, of course, a remake of a top-down Zelda of some kind. I would love to see for Nintendo Switch 2 a Link Between Worlds remake, because I loved that game on the Nintendo 3DS. That was one of my only Zelda games before Breath of the Wild that I finished aside from Wind Waker. Now, I went back and played some of the other ones in between, of course, but Link Between Worlds was one of those Zelda games that I really, really enjoyed and would love to see it come back with a little bit of some enhancements. It still looks good for its time. I just would love to see that game on the Switch, like, so much. It would be so fantastic to see that game come back for the Nintendo Switch, it would be fantastic. It doesn't have to be a Switch 2 version. It can be both versions or whatever. I just would love to play that game again. Give me a reason to want to play that game again on the Switch instead of the 3DS. Or give us maybe a Link to the Past or something along those lines of a remake. Just some kind of remake for the 40th anniversary. I think another remake would be pretty cool. Then there is one more Zelda thing that I want to see before this year ends. And I think it's about time. I think we're at about the right time window at this point. Because it's been 3 years this year since Tears of the Kingdom came out. The next 3D Zelda's been worked on ever since Tears of the Kingdom came out. I believe that by the end of the 40th anniversary of Zelda this year, before the end of the year, we will see a teaser for the next big 3D Zelda title. Now, I don't believe it's coming out next year. I am a firm believer that the next 3D Zelda will probably be in early 2028. I could be completely wrong. It could be holiday of next year for all we know. Now, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom had a 7-year gap between the two games. So it would be a lot less time, maybe, but I don't know. You know, these games do take a long time if you want them done right. What I want to see from it is I want to see a better mix of the open world aspect mixed with the dungeon aspect, because Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom didn't exactly have that. The way that people really liked the original aspects of the 3D Zelda games. Those two games didn't quite have that. And I want to see a mix of that. I want to see the open world stuff, but I also want to see areas where we just get stuck in dungeons for like 3 hours. You know, I really want to see that because I think that would be... it would bring back the magic of the older Zelda 3D titles, as well as the newer ones, with it still being open world, but a little bit different. I also want to see like Wind Waker type aspects where we can go across like an ocean to go to different islands and stuff like that. I think that would be really cool too. But that's just me and some ideas I want to see from Zelda, and I think we're going to get a teaser of the next 3D Zelda before the year ends. Now, this one's not a first-party ordeal here. It's third-party, but I have to add it. I just have to add it because I think I should. Now, with Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade coming to the Nintendo Switch 2 just in less than a week here, I want to see all of the Kingdom Hearts collections on Switch 2 physically. I don't care if it's even one of the little cards, not a cloud version. I want Kingdom Hearts, all those games on the Nintendo Switch 2. That is not a cloud version. That way I'll actually buy it, because cloud versions suck, and they're not worth the money. So if they can put Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate on there, and they're going to do Rebirth as well, and they're going to do Part 3, they already confirmed that, they could put the Kingdom Hearts games on the Nintendo Switch 2 without it having to be a cloud version. I don't know why they were the cloud version on Switch 1. I have no idea what their reasoning was. With the Switch 2, I don't believe there's any excuses, and I think that the Kingdom Hearts games should come to the Switch 2 this year. Because who knows when Kingdom Hearts 4... Wait, Kingdom Hearts 4? Oh yeah, that's just a myth, isn't it? Now, one more I'm going to mention, this one's actually confirmed already, is Splatoon Raiders. I don't know a lot about this game. We know it's going to be a single-player adventure, but we don't know exactly what it's going to be about. I'm not really sure. And my question is, what is going to make this game differentiate from Splatoon 1 through 3's single-player adventure modes? Because all three of those games had a single-player mode. You didn't necessarily have to jump right into multiplayer. That was just the main aspect of Splatoon, was always the multiplayer. But getting a Splatoon single-player spin-off game has been a request for a while now, and it was something that we have been wanting because there is some potential there with Splatoon to be something a little bit different than just a shooter multiplayer type game. And the single players were cool, but a single player focused game, I think they're going to do some different things with it and give us different weapons and ideas than what there was before, especially if it's going to be kind of more of a 3D platformer type deal compared to the first 3 games and be more like an open worldy type single player game. I don't really know what all this game entails, like what it's going to be like. What's going to make it different from the other Splatoon games? I don't really know yet, but I'm really excited to see more, and that is one of Nintendo's big games this year that I'm really looking forward to. Now, there's one more that I have to add on here because I have no idea what else Nintendo's going to do this year, but I feel like they are going to announce the next 3D Mario this year. Yes, DK Bonanza came out last year. Yes, it's a really great game, but I think the team was split up, and I think there was a team working on a new 3D Mario as well. I believe that this holiday season, their big title will be a 3D Mario. I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. But what else would it be? You know? What other game this coming holiday season would sell that well when Mario Kart was last year? I think a new 3D Mario that really blows us away, way better than Mario Odyssey. It's got stuff from all the different Mario games from Galaxy, Sunshine, 64, and Odyssey all in one. Call it like Super Mario Universe or something. Unless they're doing a Galaxy 3, I'd be okay with that too. You know, just add in Cappy and stuff still in certain levels or whatever. You don't have to make it Odyssey 2. You can. I'm not opposed to Odyssey 2 instead of Galaxy 3. I'm not opposed to that. Or just call it Super Mario Universe, make something completely different, and blow our minds with a like big open world, open galaxy world type Mario game. I mean, I'm totally down with that too. There's so many aspects of that like there's a lot of potential with a new 3D Mario. There's so much that you can do. So I have no idea what they're going to do, but I believe that a new 3D Mario is probably going to be their holiday game this year, because it's not going to be 3D Zelda. It's not going to be Smash. Smash is still a ways away. Kirby Air Riders just came out. Sakurai has not even... They're probably just in talks with Smash right now. We're super, super early development to where it's not even coming out for 2 to 3 more years. I don't believe Smash is coming out until after a 3D Mario, until after a 3D Zelda. I think we're at least 2 to 3 years out for Smash for sure, easily. I know it's happening. It's going to happen in some way or another. Something Smash is going to happen. And I think it's going to be a new game just because the new designs, there's a lot of potential, a ton of potential for a new Smash now at this point. After DK Bonanza, Mario Wonder, like Prime 4, there's so much new potential for Smash that it does get me really excited, but we're still a ways away from that. But that being said, I think that Mario getting its new 3D title is probably going to be their big game of 2026 towards the fourth quarter of the year, of course. Other than that, I can't predict all that what Nintendo's going to do. I mean, we know that they added GameCube to NSO and stuff, and that's cool. They're going to add more to that for sure. There's more games that they teased when they first revealed GameCube for it that still haven't come to us, such as Pokemon Coliseum or XD Gale of Darkness, games that cost you an arm and a leg to buy. I'm looking forward to whenever those actually come on there. I'm sure they will this year because of the 30th anniversary of Pokemon. So yeah, 30th anniversary of Pokemon, 40th anniversary of Zelda. Mario doesn't have an anniversary this year. He did last year, but I do think 3D Mario is probably on the horizon. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. I just want to talk about what Nintendo might have in store for this year. What exactly are they hiding? They're being very secretive. We don't really know of much coming out this year yet. There are a few games, of course, such as an example being Tomodachi Life, but there's not really much, and that's not Switch 2 exclusive anyway. That's going to be on Switch 1. So I have no clue. You have no clue. We have a couple clues. Obviously, we know Pokemon's coming, but we don't know a lot about what Nintendo is doing this year, and I think that's fun. You know, I think it's exciting as Nintendo fans, you know, that we can still be excited for what Nintendo does, because they are literally probably the best company in the industry right now. But we won't get into all that. And I'm looking forward to whatever's coming soon. I'm excited for video games, you know, especially Nintendo. They always know how to make us excited and having fun. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Later.